So first game done, Battle of Big Bethel. I did a bunch of shorts on it. I just put it away, and I thought I want to make a regular video, but it won't be very long. But I gotta say that, so I had one fake little scenario made up by Jeff from Hex to Hex when when Andrew and I visited him, McMurray, and we just did a brigade against brigade. Yeah, I think that was it. And that was just like a couple turns. And it was just made up. So that helped. And then going through that example of play with Jeff and then with Mr. Alan Dickerson, aka Stigler, really helped. And then I just finished playing through the rest of the turns on that. And that also was good because then Jeff was also on there as well, kind of talking me through things when I would just call him up on Messenger or whatever. And then you can see Jeff, Hex to Hex, and I playing the Battle of Big Bethel. Probably finish it up this Saturday. But good. Oh, yeah, and good stuff. So I want to keep playing it because this is a game that, oh boy, I hope that thing stays shut in there. This is a game that I feel like I really kind of want to play all four of these, which I don't normally do, but it seemed like it would be nice to do so that you just kind of get some more of the basics in my head. I feel like I really want to do this. It looked like Three Dog hopefully gets printed and shipped, or just printed at the end of the year. 2025 is where we are, because I think that would be really cool. Since I'm a huge Gettysburg historian now. No, I just really want to give that a go. Although I do have a couple of the battles up there in Death Valley. So that would be kind of fun to do that as well. Kernstown and 3rd Winchester. It'd be fun to give that. I really, you know what? Maybe those would be the two I give a go this year. So it'd be cool to get through it. It was really fun. And what's interesting to me is I can really see how they could make it have a basic rule set where you're skipping out some of the stuff. A little bit of the concern is that the scenarios may not be quite as, designed for it, but I think you just kind of deal with it and know that going into it. But I could see some elements of that, because every time I wish I had an example of this, but there'd be something where you wish you'd move or you'd do something, and then it'd be like, oh yeah, but there's this, and you wouldn't get rid of this, but if the top unit disrupts, it disrupts the other ones. That's a good one. But then there's also the stacking, like when you move into a thing, you're in the back, and there's the stack. Maybe that's something you get rid of. I don't know what you get rid of. It just seemed like there was like, okay, there's just lots of little additions, but it's cool. And so what I'm saying is, real quick, what I'm talking about, when you move, the stacking order actually matters in this game. I've never played a game where stacking order matters. Well, that's not totally true, but for the most part, where that top unit is the front unit. Makes perfect sense to me. It's the front unit. It's the one you can see. It makes sense. So certain things can and cannot fire out depending on how you move through it. So it's pretty cool, but there's just some things like, holy mackerel, just trying to remember all that stuff. Another thing that might be cool would be to have a little bit better play aids, maybe just kind of stepping through, like, okay, you're moving. Here are the things to really keep in mind. There's some of that on the play, but I feel like there could be a little bit more, but I just don't know the game well enough to maybe even really make suggestions on that. But overall, and I know Charles Latour is going through this and this would be a very tough one for me to learn on my own. So I am super thankful I know somebody, at least one person, but there's a few people out there that are playing games that knows it, and even Jeff's learning a lot. Like, he's learning a lot teaching it to me, but it's really good to have someone in kind of holding my hand, so to speak, in a purely platonic manner, of course, to kind of walk through this. And it's been nice, and I really did enjoy it, and there's some really fun things about it. Just the way the regiments, brigades, they break, they shock, they don't break, but they lose strength points. But there's a lot of shock involved and moving back and kind of disrupting. So it's a really cool kind of attrition, and it's not super bloody, which kind of reminds me of GBACW and also reminds me of Library of Napoleonic Battles, This is a little bit more bloody in that you lose steps, but it takes a little while. And then it's cool because then units start to break, and I can like brigades break or become ineffective, and that's pretty cool. Well, that's another thing. And Jeff said he's got some sheets that can help this. There are some things to track, like, you've activated twice. Did that? It's just the brigade activates. So how many times has someone activated? Did they activate twice? And did they also get shock combat? There's just some things to keep track of. Pretty simple in the Bethel game for the most part. I don't know how you do it when you have the bigger games. I think there's sheets to kind of keep track of things. Anywho, that's that. Excellent job. If you're interested at all in the Great Battles of the American Civil War, pick this up. To me, it's a no-brainer. The cost is pretty good. You get 4 games. You get some optional rules even, which I haven't even spent any time on that, but some optional rules, and great support. To me, this is kind of like ASL in that the community, the people that play it, really want to help grow the people playing it. So I think there's a lot of people out there willing to teach, even if you don't have a Jeff that or something like that. I mean, Alan's willing to teach it. He would. Oh, he's no longer with us. But there's a big group that plays it that's willing to teach. And there's groups on ConSim and Board Game and Facebook, and there's a Discord and blah blah blah. All right, that's a long time. Good job, Alan. I'll probably pop in after I finish definitely do another one when I do the next, I guess, Mill Springs. See ya.